My name is Felecia Hatcher. I am the CEO of Black Ambition. I grew up in South Florida. I invest in startups, I cultivate startups, and for the past 10 years I've been building diverse ecosystems so that mostly the Black community can be a financial beneficiary of the innovation economy and everything that it has to offer. You know, I was in high school, my guidance counselor told me I'd never make it to a college or a university. At 17 years old, someone was trying to define the rest of my life. I taught myself how to code at 16. I could rewire cable at 16, but someone who didn't know who I was or the trajectory of my life or where I could go literally told me you should try and get a job or go to vocational school. Not even community college, like they kind of accept everybody, right? And that for me was probably the biggest driver in everything. Like, how do you create opportunities with limited resources? And that for me has always been the driver. I work for some of the top companies in the world. I work for Nintendo, I work for Sony, I work for the NBA. All of those were like opportunities that came out of like leveraging limited resources and unconventional ways of being able to do things. My husband and I ran a food company in Miami for 7 years, and that's where we learned some of our hardest lessons about entrepreneurship, about investors, about getting it right and then also getting it really, really wrong, about running out of money and not knowing how to pay payroll. I remember when we first started and we had to get a warehouse, a production warehouse, and I remember our conversation when we were looking at places like, we need to find like a loft place that we can do all of our production downstairs, and if we had to sleep upstairs because we bet the house on this, like we need to make sure that it has a place for us to sleep where no one knows we're sleeping there. And that was literally our first manufacturing facility for our warehouse. It was a loft that had a couch that rolled out into a bed. And most people aren't willing to do those things or bet the house. And I understand how uncomfortable that is. I understand how life will punch you in the gut more times than you can ever begin to account. My daughter was born at 1.4 pounds. And at the same time, maybe 2 weeks before she was born, or 3 weeks before she was born, we split from our investors. We closed our store. We had no idea like how we were going to pay our rent. And then we had this little person that could fit in the palm of our hands that we had to take care of. We spent 4 months in the hospital every single day and also fighting our investors to save our business. And so we've been through it. And because we've been through it in so many different ways, and because life has punched us in the gut so many times pursuing entrepreneurship, that's why we create opportunities for others. Like, I don't ever want anyone to go through even a fraction of what I went through to pursue my dreams. I think they're just easier paths. And that's why we do what we do.